Hey Bernie, Tim Handren, your mayor here, bringing another edition of the Mayor's Minute. Today's the 13th of January. We had a council meeting last night. I want to talk about a couple things from that, and then I also want to bring you up to speed on what we're doing as it relates to COVID-19 and the vaccines. At the meeting last night, we had a great presentation from our two co-chairs of the Transportation Committee, Commissioner Don Durden and Bob Manning. Bob Manning is a former council member. Recall, this is one of my top 5 priorities when I got in this role, is I wanted to address transportation issues that frankly haven't been addressed in a very long time with our county and our Fair Oaks counterparts. That group started meeting in 2019, late 2019. We have a big committee of 20 folks that represent the entire county of Kendall. Unfortunately, when COVID hit in March, they stopped meeting in April for obvious reasons. But they made a lot of great progress, gave us an interim report last night, and have some interim projects that they're suggesting. And frankly, the report out last night on those interim projects is those came from you all who are engaged in a very open process from Transportation Committee standpoint. 4 in the county, 4 in the city. Those are brought to us for consideration. That's important because we're about to go through a process with TxDOT where we can submit projects to them and they can do partial funding with those projects that we think are very important. So council will be deliberating that over the next few weeks, but really important stuff that happened. Transportation Committee is not finished. My thanks to Don Durden and Bob Manning for their leadership on that, and my thanks to Darrell Lux and Mayor Gary Benitez for their involvement, and the way we've all worked together has been outstanding. One other thing that happened last night, we got a chance to recognize our finance team here in Boerne. Sandy Maddock, Angie Rios, as the 2 primary leaders of the team, were recognized for the 33rd year in a row for excellence in financial reporting.
Would like to thank Angie's here. She and the finance staff put countless hours into preparing this report.
It's nice to know that in your local government that you have outstanding financial reporting and frankly outstanding financial acumen. We have a great city. Financially it's solvent, we're solid, and that has a lot to do with the way we go through all of our financials. And for the 33rd year in a row, our financial team was recognized once again. So hats off to Sandy and Angie for all the great work they do for all of us. Okay, let's move on to COVID-19 and what's going on with the vaccine. I want to put a couple of contextual reminders out there for you. The way the vaccine is being distributed across the country is federally managed. It's not managed locally, it's managed federally. If you saw the governor speak earlier this week, he expressed a little bit of frustration with how it's going, but in the state of Texas, we are getting about 310,000 doses of the vaccine each week. That's all. In a state of 30 million people, that would be roughly 1% of the population each week is going to be vaccinated. What the governor is doing is he is allocating out across the entire state what he believes is fair and equitable, how those doses get distributed. And they're really only going out to primarily hospitals, urgent care clinics, medical professions that have applied. They're not really going to cities directly. They're not going to counties directly. They are going to EMSs that have applied for the vaccines. So where are we in Boerne? Again, when we talked last time, you heard from me. There are 2 places as of last week that have been authorized to get the vaccines, HEB and my urgent care clinic. And HEB, frankly, is not getting that many. For the entire HEB suite of stores, they only get just over 3,000 per week, and they're trying to distribute those. And really what people are doing is going into the areas that are the hardest hit with COVID-19. So San Antonio gets a fair more than we do in Kendall County. So what can we do about that? I know there's a lot of frustration with how do we get information from the state? How are they distributing? How are they deciding when things are going to be mailed out? That's been the hardest part to find out. So last week, our city manager, Ben Thatcher, and I had a conversation, and we were looking at some of these regional distribution capabilities that are being built around Texas in the big cities. And I started to reach out to our regional health authority, which is Dr. Lillian Ringsdorf, last week. And yesterday morning on Tuesday, we finally connected. And I told her I would like to get one of those in Kendall County. The governor is looking for ways to get the vaccine out faster. And I said, look, we have a plan ready. If you can get the vaccine to us, we can centrally manage, as opposed to it going to all of the local urgent care clinics or the local HEBs or Walgreens. If we can have a way to centrally administer, I think that we can put a plan together very quickly and start to work with you. She expressed support for that. She had said that yesterday the Texas Department of Emergency Management had asked all the regional health authorities to come up with alternative plans to get the vaccine out more quickly. And I was one of the first persons that she had spoken with since she got that request. I expect to hear from Dr. Ringsdorf any day now, and we have a plan ready to go. But until we get that, it's not absolute. So trying to work on a game plan for a regional distribution of the vaccine here in Kendall County. Most likely it will be in Boerne. We have 2 or 3 sites that we're working with that are ready to help us. So what I want to tell you is we all have to have a little bit of patience. I'm being pretty noisy about this, but I want to do what we can to help our community get the vaccine faster. There's more demand than there is supply. I'm sure you're seeing that on the news. That's true at the federal level, at the state level, and certainly at the local level. But together we're working on this. We're working closely with the partners here in town that are getting the vaccine to say how can we work together and get this distributed in the most efficient manner. Some of you are looking for a list that you can put your name on. We don't have a list because the way the vaccine is being distributed, it's going to my urgent care clinic, it's going to HEB, it's going to several different places. We don't have control over their distributions. Since this is federally funded, anybody who goes in and asks for the vaccine or gets on the schedule to get the vaccine, it must be provided. There are places that you can see on the website that DSHS has. You can go to San Antonio if you'd like to try to get on one of their lists or get a schedule with one of those guys. What we're trying to do is if we can get it here, then we can start to manage a list of what we can centrally administer, and we'll certainly be letting you know about that. So all that to say, lots going on. Don't think that we're sitting idly by. And as we get more information and we can get confirmation from the state that we can do a regional distribution center, we will absolutely be letting you know. I'm going to ask you to share this with those that don't necessarily have a computer. There are a lot of folks in the over 65 crowd who aren't on Facebook, which is good for them. But if you can, share this with those that you think might need to know about it, and we'll be getting back out to you all with how to get on, as we get approval for this distribution center, how to get on a list to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. More to come, but thanks for tuning in today. Have a great week.